Most people think saving money starts with cutting back on coffee or canceling a subscription, but honestly, it's just surface level. Real saving starts way deeper inside your brain. Because truth is, your brain is addicted to dopamine. You say, let's save $100 this month. And your brain instantly starts craving a $6 caramel latte or scrolling Amazon like it's therapy. It's not about logic. It's about rewiring the part of you that thinks treating yourself is the same as taking care of yourself. Those are not the same thing. One leaves you broke and confused. The other builds peace. What changed my game, and the game of so many people I've worked with, was when we stopped looking at money as just something we spend and started looking at it like power. Literal power. The power to breathe easier, to say no to jobs you hate, to have options. Saving that first $1,000 isn't about becoming rich. It's about proving to yourself that you're in control, not your cravings. That's when the fire really starts, when you realize discipline is actually freedom in disguise. Welcome to Investor Mind, where we break down money like your favorite playlist. No fluff, just vibes and value. This isn't your dad's financial advice, and it's definitely not one of those boring budget like this or you'll fail lectures. This channel is built for real people who want real change. People who scroll TikTok, but also want to scroll their savings app and actually see numbers going up. Whether you're trying to save your first $1,000, escape paycheck to paycheck mode, or build a life where you don't panic every time rent is due, you're in the right place. We talk about money like it actually works in the real world. Messy, emotional, impulsive, but also powerful when you get it right. So let's get into it. Most people don't struggle with making money. They struggle with keeping it. You can hustle all day, pick up extra shifts, freelance, flip things online, and still end up wondering where it all went. Because no one talks about the emotional weight money carries. You ever notice how some days you're treating yourself just to feel okay? Or you're spending on others just to avoid looking selfish? We attach guilt, shame, validation, all of it to our dollars. The first $1,000 isn't just a savings goal. It's emotional proof that you can sit with your cravings, your past money trauma, your need for quick comfort, and still choose your future. That's not easy. It might be one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but let's call it what it is. Most people stay broke because spending gives them a temporary high. Saving feels slow. It feels boring. It feels like missing out. But when you look at your balance and see that $1,000 sitting there untouched, that's a flex. That's healing. That's power. And anyone who saved it didn't just win financially. They won mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Became the kind of person who can walk past the temptation and say, I've got bigger things planned. In the next 40 minutes, we're not just talking about saving your first $1,000. We're breaking the system down piece by piece. Whether you're 18 or 28, broke or just bad with money, you're in the right place. This isn't some rich kid advice. A channel where we tell you to skip coffee and magically become a millionaire. No, this is real talk for real people. We're going into the exact steps, habits, and mind shifts that helped everyday people stack their first $1,000 even when they were living paycheck to paycheck. I'm talking about the psychology of saving, not just the math. The part no one talks about, the mental traps, the guilt spending, the I'll save next month cycle. You're gonna learn how to break that? We'll cover the difference between needs and wants, but not in the boring classroom way. You'll see how successful savers actually use emotional triggers in their favor, how they automate their wins, and how they make saving money feel good. Not like punishment. You'll hear real stories. Like one from a guy who was working a 9 to 5 and still saved $200 in just 60 days by flipping secondhand sneakers online. He found pairs on clearance racks, cleaned them up, and resold them on Facebook Marketplace and eBay all during weekends. Or a girl who had just $30 in her account, canceled 3 monthly subscriptions she barely used, and within 1 month turned that freed up money into a simple digital freelance gig, bringing in her first $150. These aren't wild success stories. They're mindset shifts. Once you see how possible it is, you'll stop waiting for more income and start taking control of what you've already got. And yeah, bringing in the OG investors too. not just their quotes, but the mindset behind them. It's like Warren Buffett, who said, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." Think about that. That flips your entire money routine. We'll break down how that thinking applies to you. Right now, even if your income isn't high, Robert Kiyosaki talks about the concept of paying yourself first before the rent, before the bills, before Netflix. We'll go into how you can actually do that even when your budget is tight as hell. Charlie Munger once said, "The first $100,000 is a B asterisk asterisk asterisk, but you gotta do it." Why? Because it's not the amount, it's the discipline. And once you learn that, everything after becomes 10x easier. We're gonna plant that investor mindset into your everyday routine, even if you're not an entrepreneur yet. Because guess what? Saving your first $1,000 is your first investment in yourself. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop leaking money on autopilot. Build a freedom fund without even feeling it train your brain to enjoy saving, and most importantly, trust yourself with money no fluff. No complicated apps. It's just real systems, real stories, and a real mindset shift. Here's the thing no one tells you. Your brain isn't naturally built to save money. It's literally wired to sabotage it. Blame evolution, not yourself, Daniel. Kahneman explains it with this concept of instant reward versus delayed reward. Basically, your brain wants the dopamine hit now. That's why a $7 coffee feels more exciting than transferring $20 into a savings account. One is instant satisfaction. The other feels like ... nothing. Boring. No sparkle. It's no high. But that's where most people stay stuck, trading small daily highs for long-term peace. The psychology behind saving is brutal because your brain equates delay with pain. That's why budgeting feels like punishment and saving feels like missing out. But successful people, they learn to flip the script. They trick their brain by making saving feel good. They visualize their future apartment, their dream car, that feeling of waking up and not being stressed about bills, and they attach emotion to that, because emotion is what drives decisions, not logic. You don't save money just by learning finance hacks. You save it by changing what your brain sees as a reward. Once you connect saving with freedom, not sacrifice, that's when the shift happens. That's when saving starts to feel addictive in the best way possible. You know what's wild? Your brain doesn't actually hate saving, it just hates how boring it feels. Delayed gratification is like eating veggies when your brain is screaming for fries. But here's the plot twist. You can actually train your mind to crave long-term wins the same way it craves that Amazon package or iced caramel macchiato. The trick? Give your brain micro rewards while you chase the big one. Saving $100? Celebrate with your favorite playlist. A walk with your vision board. Or even just journaling. How it feels to not be broke this week. Attach dopamine, pleasure chemical, to the habit of saving. Gamify it. Track your progress in a visually satisfying app. Make it a challenge with your friends. Or literally rename your savings account to something juicy like Future Beach, House, or Freedom Fund. Because seeing $1,000 in checking hits different than $1,000 toward quitting my 9-to-5. You're not depriving yourself. You're investing in a version of you that doesn't freak out over rent or panic when your car breaks down. That delayed reward? That's peace. Those are options. That's luxury without debt. And once your brain starts associating saving with power, not punishment, you won't want to stop. It becomes your new high. You ever noticed how we treat saving money like it's the leftovers of our paycheck? Like, let me live a little first, and whatever's left, I'll save that. But that mindset is exactly why most people stay broke. Warren Buffett said it best. Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. That quote isn't just financier, it's a mindset reversal. It flips the entire way you approach money. When you save first, you're not being stingy, you're being smart. You're saying future me matters. And honestly, future you deserves way better than stressing over late fees and overdraft alerts. Saving first is like paying your future self before anyone else, before the restaurants, the impulsive Target runs, the subscriptions you forgot to cancel. It's like building your own safety net before life tries to throw you off balance. Because let's be real, life will throw things at you. And when it does, having that saving stash, it feels like a power move. It feels like walking through chaos and saying, I'm good. That's the energy we're chasing. Not survival, not scraps. Stability on your terms. The 50-30-20 rule sounds good in theory. But let's be real. When you're on a tight income or living paycheck to paycheck, it's easy to feel like even 20% is a stretch. That's where customization comes in. This rule isn't rigid. It's a framework, not a prison. Let's start with the 50% your needs. This is rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries like actual food, not snacks and soda, basic transportation, healthcare. It doesn't include subscriptions, takeout, or things you think are needs, but are actually comfort spends. If your needs are eating up more than 50%, that's a sign your lifestyle might need adjusting, maybe downsizing, splitting rent, using public transport, or cutting certain bills. It's not glamorous, but it creates space for breathing room. Then there's the 30% for wants. This is where most people go off track. Wants aren't evil, they're just tricky. A $4 coffee every day, it's $120 a month. Streaming subscriptions you forgot you had. Another $30, eating out just this once 5 times a week. Wants should feel good, not drain you. So be picky, prioritize. If you love weekend brunch, keep it. But ditch the random impulse buys that don't spark joy or add value. Then, the 20% savings, this is your real MVP. This is what separates people who survive from people who thrive. And it's not just about putting cash in a savings account. This could include paying off high-interest debt. Yes, that counts as saving, building your emergency fund, or even investing if your basics are covered. And here's the trick to actually sticking with it. Automate it. Set your account to move 20% or whatever percent you can manage into savings the moment your paycheck hits. Make it invisible. Make it non-negotiable. Because when saving becomes just another thing you'll do later, it never happens. But when it's automatic, it becomes effortless. And over time, that little shift builds serious momentum. You'll go from I can't afford to save to I can't afford not to. That's when you know you've leveled up. Look, you don't need to be some spreadsheet wizard to track your spending. In fact, most people give up on budgeting because it feels like doing taxes every night, boring, confusing, and low-key depressing. But tracking your money, that's the game changer. It's how you actually see where your dollars are going instead of just wondering why your bank balance is crying. And thanks to tech, you can make it stupid simple. Apps like Good Budget break your money down into digital envelopes. Rent, food, coffee, skincare, whatever. It's visual, satisfying, and helps you stick to limits without even thinking. Not feeling that vibe? Try Notion templates. Yup. The same app you use for mood boards and aesthetic to-do lists can also be your finance BFF. There are templates out there that turn your money goals into a whole vibe drag and drop. Checklists, even habit tracking alongside your savings. You can literally customize it to say, no spend day achieved, and give yourself a gold star. The point is, if it's fun, you'll stick with it. If it's boring, you won't. So ditch the old school methods that make you feel like you're in accounting class and start tracking your money like it's part of your lifestyle, because it is. And once you start actually seeing where every dollar goes, you stop lying to yourself. Start taking control. And that right there is the first step to real financial freedom. Here's the truth. If you treated your savings like you treat your rent, your whole financial life would hit a different level. Think about it when rent's due. You don't negotiate with it. You don't say, I'll just skip this month, or I was feeling impulsive so I bought new shoes instead. Nah, you pay it. Period. So why don't we give our savings that same respect, that same urgency? The money you put away for your future should be just as non-negotiable. It's not a luxury. It's not optional. It's a bill, except the landlord is you, and the place you're building is your peace of mind. Every month, before you touch a single dollar for fun, fashion, food, or friends, Pay your future self first. Lock it away like it's sacred, because it is. Savings isn't just numbers. It's your emergency exit, your dream fund, your protection against chaos. It's the reason you won't have to swipe credit when your car breaks down, or say no to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The people who win financially aren't always the ones making six figures. They're the ones who made saving sacred, who treated it like survival, who decided their goals weren't negotiable. So from now on, don't wait to see what's left over. Don't hope saving will just happen. Treat it like rent. Treat it like breathing. Make it automatic, locked in, and untouchable. Watch how quickly your money starts working for you. Let's talk about the real reason people stay broke. It's not a lack of money. It's a lack of control. In the control battle, it's not even with your bank account. It's with your emotions. Emotional spending is sneaky. It doesn't ask for permission. It slides in when you're stressed, sad, bored, or just trying to feel something on. A Thursday night, that $50 online haul, it's not about the stuff. It's about the dopamine hit that numbs whatever's going on inside. But here's where we flip the script. Cutting unnecessary spending doesn't mean cutting happiness. It means cutting the false comfort that keeps you stuck. Logical spending isn't about being cold or robotic. It's about being clear. Asking yourself, do I actually need this? Or am I just trying to fix a feeling with a delivery notification? That 1 second pause before buying. That's the real flex. Because when you start spending based on values, not vibes, you don't feel poor, you feel powerful. You're choosing freedom over clutter, peace over panic, clarity over chaos. You don't need to give up everything, just the stuff that gives you 5 seconds of fake joy and weeks of guilt. Because here's the harsh truth. Emotional spending gives you nothing but an emptier wallet and the same problems. But choosing to spend with intention, that's when the glow up hits. That's when you're not just saving, you're transforming. It's not the $500 shopping spree that ruins most people's money goals. It's the $4 here, $10 there, over and over, bleeding you dry like paper cuts. We're talking about the tiny leaks, the subscriptions you forgot about, the late-night food delivery because you didn't feel like cooking, the treat-yourself mentality that hits every single day. You're not broke because life's unfair. You're broke because you've got holes in your financial bucket. And even if you're pouring in income, it keeps draining out from the bottom. That $9.99 you're paying monthly for an app you haven't opened in 4 months. That's $120 a year. So multiply that by 5 apps, and now you've burned over $600 on nothing. And don't even get started on delivery fees. If you're ordering out 3 times a week, you're not treating yourself, you're just outsourcing discipline. It's death by 1,000 swipes. These habits feel small in the moment, but they compound, not just financially, but mentally too. Every unnecessary expense is a little vote against your future. It's like saying, this 5 minutes of comfort matters more than the life I'm trying to build. Harsh, but true. And once you see the leaks, you can plug them. Audit your spending like your dreams depend on it, because they do. Cancel, cut, reduce, redirect that cash to your goals. It's because when your money stops slipping through the cracks, it finally starts stacking, and that's when you see real momentum. That's when $1,000 saved doesn't feel like a fantasy. It feels inevitable. Meet Jasmine, a 26-year-old graphic designer living in Chicago. Making an average salary, always broke by mid-month, and constantly asking herself, where the hell did all my money go? One day, scrolling through her bank statements because the guilt finally kicked in, she noticed a weird trend. Almost every single morning, without fail, $5.23 was disappearing from her account, her daily Starbucks run, a vanilla oat milk latte, and a muffin. It felt like self-care, but the total? Around $160 a month. That's nearly $1,000 in 6 months. That number hit her like a slap. She wasn't even tasting the coffee anymore. It was autopilot. So Jasmine made a wild decision. No more takeout coffee for 6 months. She didn't quit coffee altogether. She bought a decent French press, her favorite creamer, and turned making her morning brew into a little ritual. Was it aesthetic Pinterest level at first? No, but it was hers. She even challenged herself to transfer $5 into her savings every morning instead, like a little passive flex. At first it was annoying, then it became addictive. And at the end of the 6 months, she checked her savings account, $1,056.34. She cried. Not because it was a huge amount, but because for the first time, she proved to herself she could commit. That $1,000 wasn't about coffee, it was about control. It was the first time she chose her goals over her cravings. And now, she still makes her coffee at home. Not because she has to, but because she knows her worth. That's the thing. Your $5 habit might not feel like a big deal, but multiply that by consistency, and suddenly it's not just coffee, it's your vacation fund, your emergency stash, your freedom. It's not about deprivation, it's about deciding who you want to be 6 months from now. Jasmine didn't get rich overnight, she just got intentional. And that changed everything. Let's get this out of the way. Most people aren't broke because they're lazy. They're broke because they've been sold the lie that money only comes from one job, one source, one paycheck. But in 2025, that's just not it. You don't need to go viral. You don't need 100K followers. You just need to build tiny streams that trickle into your account consistently. Take freelancing, for example. You've got a skill? Someone out there is willing to pay for it. Writing, video editing, animation, translation, customer support, even making PowerPoint slides. You start on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, or legit Facebook groups. You won't get rich overnight, but you'll make $50 here, $100 there, and that stacks. Then there's micro tasks, super low-fort, no-skill gigs like data labeling, app testing, AI training, even watching videos and giving feedback. Sites like Clickworker, Remote Asks, and user testing pay small amounts, but if you're consistent, it adds up without draining your soul. Now let's talk flipping. Not houses, I mean thrifting things online, cleaning them up, reselling on Facebook Marketplace, eBay or Depop. One girl I know bought used books in bulk for $15 and resold them one by one for $100 plus total. Another dude flips free furniture. From the curb, adds a little polish, resells it for $80, sometimes $300. None of this is sexy. None of this will make you a millionaire tomorrow, but it starts the engine. You don't need a business plan, you need motion. A $20 task, a $30 sale, a $50 side gig. It's not about getting rich fast. It's about proving to yourself, I can make money outside of my job. And once that switch flips, you stop feeling helpless. You stop waiting for a raise. You stop depending on one paycheck. You become dangerous in the best way. Okay, so meet Aliyah, 21 years old, broke college student, drowning in assignments and ramen noodles. She wasn't trying to be the next big entrepreneur. She just needed breathing room. Wanted to save $1,000 in 3 months, not for luxury, just for peace. But with zero budget and no time for a job, she had to get creative. That's when she noticed something. Everyone around her was disorganized. AF planners, templates, notes, chaos. So she opened Canva, whipped up an aesthetic student planner, uploaded it to Etsy with a $5 price tag, and boom, her first sale came in within a week. That tiny dopamine hit changed everything. She leaned in. She started making digital flashcard decks, budgeting templates, habit trackers, all with a pastel Gen Z vibe that actually looked good. She marketed them through Pinterest free traffic. And TikTok, she posted simple study hacks with her link in bio. At first, it was slow, $15, then $30, then a random $100 weekend. But Aliyah stayed locked in. By the end of month 1, she'd made $280. Month 2, $370. Month 3, $420 total. $1,070. She didn't go viral. She didn't run ads. She didn't even know how to code. She just picked a problem her audience had, made a digital solution, and packaged it well. And she kept showing up. The craziest part? That $1,000 wasn't even the real win. It was the confidence she unlocked. She went from I'm always broke to I can create money from nothing. And now she's scaling, adding printable journals and digital business cards. It all started with a $5 planner and a belief that maybe, just maybe, she was capable of more. And spoiler, she was. Here's the thing no one teaches you in school. Not all money moves are equal. You can be earning a decent paycheck and still be broke. Not because of how much you make, but because of what you're doing with it. Robert Kiyosaki said it best: assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take it out. It sounds simple until you realize most people are out here collecting liabilities like they're trophies. That new car with a fat loan liability. It's that iPhone upgrade on installment even though your current one works fine. Liability. Designer sneakers that look fire but make no return. Yep, liability. But now imagine flipping that. Instead of chasing what looks rich, you chase what builds wealth. Is that $300 you were going to drop on shoes? Put it into a high-yield savings account, a dividend stock, or even an online course that teaches a profitable skill. Assets don't always look flashy. Sometimes they're silent. They sit in the background and work for you. Rental property that brings in monthly rent. Asset. A digital product that sells while you sleep. Asset. An Etsy store. A monetized YouTube channel. Even a stock portfolio that's growing quietly. Assets. The problem is, we've been trained to think spending equals success. But real wealth? It's not loud. It's strategic. It's about choosing. The delayed flex, letting your assets stack silently until one day you look up and realize your money's making money. That's the switch you gotta flip. From spending to stacking. It's from impressing people to investing in freedom. Liabilities feel good now, but assets, they change your whole damn future. You ever save up $200 and feel like a boss? Until next week, when it magically disappears? Yeah, that's not a money problem. That's a placement problem. Most people make the mistake of saving like amateurs. They stash it in a jar, or worse, keep it sitting in their main checking account, right next to the money they use for coffee, Uber Eats, and accidental shopping sprees. It's like hiding cookies in plain sight when you're trying to diet. One bad mood, one sale notification, one random craving, boom, your savings is gone, and now you're back to zero. That's why smart savers separate their money. Of it like this. Your savings should feel a little inconvenient to access. Not impossible, but inconvenient enough that you actually pause before spending it. High-yield savings accounts, online banks with no debit cards, or even apps like Capital or Ally. They make your money harder to touch and even let it grow a little while it chills. And please don't tell me you're disciplining yourself to not spend it. Discipline is cute, but systems win. Automate it. Set it up so 10% of every paycheck slides straight into a hard-to-touch account. That way, even when you're not thinking about saving, it's still happening. Because let's be real. If your savings is sitting in the THTSD and VA, same account as your rent, your cravings, and your treat yourself fund, you've basically already spent it. Protect it like it's your future, because it is. If you're trying to build your first $1,000, you've got to get it out of your sight. Like physically remove the temptation. Because here's the truth. Your brain is wired for now, not later. If that money is sitting in your main bank account, mixed in with your fun fund and your groceries, guess what? One bad day, one impulsive scroll on Amazon, and boom, your savings just turned into skincare and snacks. That's why smart savers do one thing differently. They open a separate savings account, not connected to their debit card, not attached to their daily spending, and they act like it doesn't even exist. The real ones go even harder. They nickname it something powerful. Not savings, but freedom fund, or my first $1,000. It's psychology. You see that label, and you feel the goal. Now here's where the magic kicks in. Automation. Set it up so the second your paycheck hits, 10%, 15%, maybe even 20% gets yanked away and dropped into that separate account before you even see it. Like Warren Buffett said, do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Let that quote live rent-free in your head. Because if you wait till the end of the month to save whatever's left, spoiler, there will be nothing left. Life will always find a way to eat it up. But if you reverse that flow, save first, spend later, you start building momentum. And suddenly that impossible $1,000 goal starts looking very real. It's not about willpower. It's about making saving the default. It's not the backup plan. The smartest thing you can do for your savings isn't hustling harder. It's making your money move without you. Because here's the cold truth. If you wait to manually transfer money after you've paid bills, grabbed coffee, and impulse bought something off TikTok, there won't be anything left to save. That's why automation is everything. Set it up so that the moment money lands in your main account, a percentage, even if it's just $10, slides right into a separate savings account like it's on autopilot. You don't touch it. You don't think about it. It just happens. And here's where it gets powerful. That savings account needs to feel distant. No debit card, no quick transfer button, no instant access. If you make it easy to reach, you'll find an excuse to spend it. But if you treat that account like it's sacred, separate, quiet, untouchable, it becomes your safety net, your freedom fund, your silent "I got you" for the future. That's the key. Save before you see it. If you never see that $50 in your checking account, your brain won't even miss it. You'll adjust your lifestyle around what's left. And over time, that hidden savings account will grow. Not because you earned more, but because you stopped letting your impulses rob your goals. You didn't need more money, you needed better systems. Saving your first $1,000 isn't luck. It's not magic. It's discipline, mindset, and straight-up survival. You're not just stacking cash. You're proving to yourself that you've got control. Start small, stay deadly consistent, and protect every dollar like it's your escape plan, because it is. Drop A if your bank account has trust issues with you right now. What's one thing you regret? Buying but low-key would do it again? Be honest. This is a safe space. If your wallet had a voice, what would it scream at you today? Mine would just cry and Apple Pay comment $1,000 club if you're making that your new mission. We're holding each other accountable. Tag a friend who needs to see this before they buy another. $7 coffee trying to manifest abundance. This was just the beginning. If you made it this far, you're not here to just save. You're here to build. Stick around, because next, we're diving into how to build your first passive income stream, even if your bank account's screaming broke. Trust me, you won't want to miss this.